In this exercise, we're going to go through the process of integrating a knowledge base into Copilot using file upload and do some basic testing with prompts to pull information from that knowledge base. In this exercise, you're going to be logged in as Avery Howard and have the Copilot owner role. All the tasks in this exercise are going to work with the standalone experience for Copilot. The lab files that I'm using are tailored to this simulation, but it should work the same in your full production environments as necessary. All right, so we're going to use a sample file called Woodgrove Bank Data Handling Policy. You can see an example of it here. It's just a PDF that we use. It kind of explains like it's just a typical policy document. So what I would do is I download this document to my local system. Obviously, you could use any document here. We're using something very simple to just kind of illustrate the process or illustrate the environment. Now, what we need to do first off is we need to configure Copilot to support file uploads. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and try and upload the file and kind of see what that happens. Now remember, Avery's configured as a contributor, but they're not necessarily going to have those settings available for us. So here we are, we've gone ahead and we've logged into Copilot for security. So what we're going to do is go down to our prompt bar and we're going to select sources. Remember the sources icon, look for squares here. So when I click the sources icon and I go to files, you'll notice it's telling me to upload the file, but there's really not a way to do it. That's pretty much because I don't have those abilities. Even though I'm an owner, I don't have the ability to upload files. So I need to make sure that developers and folks can do that for this process. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to go back to my hamburger menu in the upper left-hand corner. Under here, I'm going to go to owner settings. Remember, the owner settings are where I can define some of the broad settings for the environment. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it says files. Who can upload files? And right now, it says no one can upload files. That's probably a problem. So I'm going to change that to contributors and owners. So now that setting should be fine. So if I go back now to my main menu, and I go back down to sources, okay, when I go to files, now I have an upload file button available to me. So I could take that file that I had earlier, that Woodgrove Corporate Data Handling Policy file, and I could upload that file into my environment. All right, notice once again, it's active, which means it's a usable file. Now, with files uploaded, I can now use prompts that refer to or mention those uploaded files. If you want Copilot to reason over those available files. You can also include the file name if you want to guide Copilot to look at a specific file. You can, for example, tell it to summarize a particular file. So if you want to summarize now that file, I can simply just put that into the prompt. For example, I could tell it, well, summarize that file. We'll go back. And what it'll do is it'll do that. It'll generate that same file. Okay. So you can see in the results from the document, what it does is it's able to pull out the key provisions of the file, and it shows me what information that it deduced from the contents of the file. But what if I want to take this further? What if I want to perform an action based on this document? For example, if I wanted to say, based on the uploaded file, Woodgrove Corporate Data Handling Policy.pdf, what data handling policies should I consider implementing in Microsoft Purview? So now I'm asking it to perform an action based on the contents of the file I uploaded. So I could take an existing corporate data governance policy and say, take that data governance policy, apply it to what I want to use in the Microsoft Security Suite, and give me a list of recommendations. And that's what your output generates. Now it tells you, what activities should I have? Data classification and labeling, some data transfer restrictions, data storage, USB device usage. It generates those prompts, those prompt responses. And as I said, once again, it's maintaining the context of the prompt I used before and integrating its responses based on its knowledge and understanding of Purview. What we could also do is we could do this across more than one file. Say maybe I had a compliance file, I had a privacy document, I had all those different things that govern how I manage information. We could feed those files into Copilot for Security and then ask it to perform actions based on that file or files. So in this task, we configured to allow contributors and owners to upload files, uploaded a file, and then use prompts that reasoned over those uploaded files.